It's definitely not perfect.
I'm not mad about it. Holy moly!
That's where it's called air-cooled.
2, 1.
But we also live in a 1988 camper, so perfect job isn't super relevant. Well, if you've been following our past couple videos, you know most of our time and energy right now has been working on installing this wood stove into our camper home.
We are trying to get warm here. Day by day, it is getting colder and colder.
Yeah, it was 37 last night, so getting chilly. We have the diesel heaters from last year that are keeping us warm, but we would really like to rely on those less. So we've made a little progress that I'll show you in just a little bit since where we left you off last. We have poured the concrete pad that's going to sit on, and today we are tackling the hearth. So that's going to take the installation of the concrete pad over there and the sheet metal heat shield that will be behind the stove. Let's go grab that concrete pad.
To say that we are nervous to open up our mold would be an understatement. We used Quikrete countertop mix that we did a couple days ago. So basically we used a thing of water, we used our concrete mix, we put it all together, we put it into our mold, and it has sat there now for about 72 hours. It doesn't need that long, but that's just how our days worked. But now we're gonna open it. I'd love to say this project went exactly how we planned. It was a little bit thicker and not as smooth as we were hoping, so we have no idea what we're getting into when we open this. Nervous?
So nervous. So nervous. I think my backup plan is if it comes out terrible, I'm just gonna call like countertop places and be like, do you have a cutoff? Can you cut it to this size? How much does it cost? Yeah, ultimately, like, we didn't try to make it perfect because we think for the hearth, it's actually going to look better if it's not perfect. And like I said, some things went wrong. So I have no idea. But first, I got to move this guy out of the way. Then we'll unpack her. All right, so this is where everything is going. Previously, there was a little countertop here. I popped that off. Then I mounted this sheet of plywood for the concrete slab to sit on, and the plywood is cut to 2 or 3 inches shorter in every dimension so that the concrete actually sticks out a little further. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Now I think I'm going to add an additional support on this side and somewhere over here, but ultimately the concrete is actually rated to be able to overhang, I believe it's up to 12 inches if I'm not mistaken, and we're only going to go like 2 inches off the plywood and under 12 inches in every other dimension anyways. But this plywood I thought would just help more evenly distribute the weight and give me a place to actually anchor any supports that I want to put in and something to actually anchor the concrete slab itself onto. Okay, so these are my least favorite things to record for YouTube.
He usually doesn't even allow me to record it.
Yeah, so like some of the work that I've done already, I said I don't want to record that because it just like stresses me out more. Like, think of any hard project that you've ever done for the first time and you have no idea what you're doing.
And then there's thousands of people watching it, criticizing it.
Yeah, and you have to like take moments to actually talk to a camera, stop a camera, change the camera angle, manage 3 cameras sometimes. It's a lot. But this one's unique in the sense that it's just popping it off. So you'll either get to see, I'm assuming it's either going to be like, okay, that'll work, or a meltdown. So,
welcome in. Oh my god! The anticipation.
I know, right? And I know it's not just going to pop off. We're going to have to kind of
pry it off.
Pry it off, yeah. And try not to ruin it in the process of prying it off. Where is it? There we go.
One day we will have a bigger house to have more space to do projects in. One day. But for now, it's always a mess and always in tight quarters with animals around.
And we have a moving blanket down, if y'all haven't noticed. It's not our new green carpet. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, the corners look like they came out bad, which I was kind of thinking would have because the mixture was so thick. You see the corners?
Yeah.
Like right here and right here?
You might need to sand this part down.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, it's coming off easy though.
It's definitely not perfect. Something that I had I watched a YouTube video of a contractor that worked with this and said no matter how much water he added, he couldn't get it smooth enough to sit right. And he attributed it to the fact that Quikrete makes these in giant batches, so no batch is consistent. And I think it's also potentially a discontinued product because I could only find being able to order it from Ace. So, like, they recommended 8 pints of water for your mixture and not exceeding 9 pints. We used a full 9 pints and it was still really, really thick. And what you're seeing as a result of that, or what you're going to see as a result of that, is it wasn't smooth enough or like soft enough to actually like fully fall in. So there's little like pivot holes and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying it's not going to work. It's just definitely not a perfect job. But we also live in a 1988 camper, so perfect job isn't super relevant. Ow, that's my finger.
You should just put your hair up.
I should.
Like you've been fucking with it.
But every time I put my hair up in a video, you're like, your hair up?
Well, you kind
pony?
of. I hate the low pony. I hate it. I love your hair down, but. Or in a high pony.
Right?
Yeah, or you're just cutting into the concrete.
One or the other. I think both.
I'm not mad about it.
It's not bad.
I'm not mad about it.
The edges, because of the caulk job not being good,
The edges came out bad.
came out bad, but the brown actually looks nicer than I thought.
Wow!
I mean, it's actually, like, if it came out right, this would make a badass countertop.
I mean, it is a countertop.
Like
Wow.
in a house, I'm saying.
It's just the edges that didn't come out perfect.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, like, it's gonna work.
It's gonna work, and that's what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look bad. Like, it's pretty, too. Like, the color's nice.
The color came out beautiful.
Which was something we were worried about.
I actually like that. I really like that the color's not consistent.
Yeah, that it has, like, dimension.
Yeah.
It's seriously just the edges, but this looks nice.
Yeah, that came out beautiful.
Cool!
That came out really, really nice. But it's definitely not perfect, but it's definitely going to work as a fireplace hearth.
Exactly. It's like a fireplace is going to be sitting on. Overall, we are really happy with how it turned out, which is cool because we were really unsure how it was going to turn out. And we've like never worked with concrete before. We've never done any type of countertop before. So this was definitely a learning experience, and the process of doing it was a little bit hectic when we were doing it. But
that's why we have so much footage of
that's why there's not that much footage of us doing it, is because it was just like, concrete's drying, but it's too thick, blah, blah, blah. But I'm happy with it, and I think it will be the perfect top to go on there and hold our wood stove. Wow.
It looks good. Right?
Woohoo! It does look good.
Right? Alright. The picture's being painted now. You kind of see the idea that we have going on. It's funny sometimes when we're doing these videos, I don't know if our explanations show it, but here we are. Countertops on. It sits really, really sturdy. We might still cap off one end here for an extra support. But next up is the mounting of our back wall heat shield, and this will be air cooled. So what that means is we'll be using 1-inch spacers to keep this off the wall. That allows air to go behind the metal, and this is 24 gauge metal, to cool it. And this is actually just like scrap material that we have laying around. So rather than buying a piece, I originally ordered one giant piece that would fit here perfectly. They messed up the shipping, ended up saying it was going to be $40 more. So it was going to be like $100 for that piece of metal to come in, maybe even more. And then I said, let me see if I have anything laying around. So we canceled that order, figured out I could use 3 of these. It's a little extra work, but it's going to save us $100. But next up is cutting these to size, getting them cleaned up, and then starting to mess around with the spacers and laminating these together. To connect the pieces together, I'm going to use my riveting tool. So that will connect each piece of sheet metal together. Let's get to work.
Holy moly! We are out here now to cut the heat shield.
And it's sleeting.
And it's literally sleeting and really cold. I don't know if I'm cut out for it, honey. Holy moly.
Well, the wood stove should help.
The wood stove should help. And that is the, the drive to get it done. Oh!
I got all 3 pieces. I want to cut them together so that I got a better chance of getting them all to be the same height, rather than doing it separately. So I got them all lined up, then I'm vice gripping them together, and then I'm going to use an angle grinder to cut it and hopefully do a pretty straight line. And here we'll take a few minutes to thank the sponsor of today's video, Bluetti. Now, we've gotten to use portable power stations from over 6 different manufacturers over the past few years, and Bluetti, time and time again, has showed us that they're making industry-leading products. And Bluetti has their Black Friday sale going on right now. Virtually everything on the Bluetti website is on sale in some way, shape, or form, and some of the products that you've seen us use here at the Runaway Ranch have really special deals. First off, the Bluetti AC 180 is nearly half off. It's currently on sale for $479, down from the original price of $999. The AC 180 has quickly become one of our favorite portable power stations thanks for its awesome portability while still having plenty battery capacity and inverter power to power most projects. Our IP65 water and dust resistant AC 240, while not on quite as exciting of a sale as the 180, is down from $1899 to $1699. And this, while it's a bit heavier than the 180, is an absolute powerhouse that we simply leave outside for outdoor projects thanks to its water and dust resistant ratings. Now, if you've been following us for a while, you know all about our AC300 and B300 batteries. And recently, the B300 batteries have been replaced with an improved B300K battery. And Bluetti is also running a great deal on this combo, coming in at $15.99, down from $2,500. And if you take advantage of one of these exciting deals and use our discount code, you'll be able to get an additional 5% off your purchase. This means that you can get the 180 down another $29, all the way to $550. So make sure you check out the Bluetti website or Amazon to take advantage of these Black Friday deals before they end. And thanks again to Bluetti for being a longtime supporter of everything we have going on here at the Runaway Ranch. Your awesome support and their great partnership truly help us so much to accomplish all of our exciting projects.
With the wind, Stetson has been going crazy because the leaves are flying everywhere, there's sticks flying everywhere. I think we had some garbage in our garbage and that started flying everywhere, so he was chasing that. So it has been just wrangling his crap up all day as the wind comes and blows it around. He loves it. It's keeping him entertained, but also making more of a project for us. How'd it go?
Not bad. Definitely got to smooth it up a little bit. But... Nice.
Nice. Okay, we got all of the back panels done and cut, and it actually went way smoother than we thought. So things are going good today, guys. Obviously, I'm happy to be back inside. It's much warmer in here. I'm just gonna wipe these off because I don't want them just looking gross. And then we will get to putting the spacers in.
Alright, so we have our first piece of metal mounted to one side, and you should be able to see right here that there's a 1-inch gap between the wall and the metal itself. That's where it's called air cooled, because it allows air to get behind there to cool the metal itself. And what we're using is right here, 1-inch spacers. So I believe it's a 2-inch screw that goes through the 1-inch spacer. So that's the setup right there. This goes behind the metal, right in here. You drill your hole through the metal, screw goes through there, then through the spacer, then into the wall. It's that simple. So now we're going to work on overlaying, adding the spacers along the top and the bottom, and then if we need any extra reinforcement, we'll work on riveting just down the center, and that won't actually go into the wall.
The hardest thing that we have come across thus far is trying to make it level. So that is still continuing to be a challenge. But the reality is the camper is not perfectly level either. So it might just be a little off, but I think it'll be fine and you won't even notice.
I wish I drilled these holes before I put this up on the wall.
It's that part of the project where I'm getting a little antsy.
Good.
Show them what you did.
I just jabbed some, can you see it?
Right there.
Just kind of jammed some shards of metal on my finger on accident. Obviously on accident. I got one out.
Yeah. Want me to get...
Yeah.
There you
see,
go.
it's just like right in there.
I can get it. I have long nails.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. Ouch. We're good.
You alright?
We definitely want to vacuum to clean this stuff up.
Yeah, because I don't want to step in it or anything.
Yep. Okay. Good to go. Ouch.
Yeah, it looked like it hurt.
It was stuck, like it was on this screw.
Yeah.
Oh, the threads of this screw are kind of screwed up, so it was actually the threads of the screw that I was holding.
The last and final screw, and then we are actually going to put some rivets in it. We weren't sure, but we've decided that there's just a couple little spots that we think would be better if we had rivets in it.
Nice. Let's rivet.
Let's rivet.
Woo! Riveting. So, fun little story that I always think of with the riveting tool. When we were traveling Baja, we were with our friends Zach and Carolyn, and we went to Cabo because somebody was visiting their family for a couple nights or something. And Zach had brought his Galaxy awesome camper for a car wash because he hadn't had one the whole time. And the guy was walking on his solar panels while washing the roof. And when he jumped down off the roof, he jumped off onto a bike rack that obviously was not very sturdy and snapped it in half. Zach came back really, really angry, and I was trying to help him figure out a little bit on how we might fix it. And then he goes, no, I know what I'm doing. And he gets all his shit out, and he pulls out a riveting gun. And I'm like, man, in this tiny camper, like, we carried too many tools. I'm not gonna lie. Like, in Jolene, we had way too many tools. But a riveting tool was not one of them, and I just always thought that was hilarious. Pieces of metal that he used to fix it was literally road scraps that he saw on the side of the road one day while driving past, pulled over, said this might be useful one day, threw it in this little off-roading rack on the back of the Galaxy, and used that in his riveting tool to get the job done. So, shout out to Zach and Caroline.
We love you! We love and miss you guys, and that story always makes me so happy. And I love thinking about it.
Boom! Suck that right in. That was perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Spit it out. Want to see it with the wood stove?
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
3, 2, 1. It is done. Not done, but it is a step further. I got a totally all excited. It is a step further in the process, and I am pretty happy with it. I think it looks great, and it's just giving this whole space the ambiance that I'm looking for.
There you have it. We still got a little bit of sanding to do on it. We're gonna put in an extra support, but that is pretty great.
That is pretty great, and the project went really smooth overall. And
probably the best project we've had
in a
like
long
a best
time.
project day. Like, most successful, least amount of things going wrong.
Least stress.
Since getting here. Since getting here.
Which is a big
maybe
project,
in 8 years.
So it's been a while, but it feels really, really good. And now we still have just a little bit more on this project, and that is drilling a hole in our roof.
So that's coming up next week. We finished the install, and we will be doing our first fire, which is great because that means we'll have it done before Thanksgiving. It's just really getting cold, so we're excited to have it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you see that finished install and what it's all gonna look like. Thanks for the support, y'all.
We love you guys so much.
Cheers.
See you next week.